As our host said, we are Vinay and Shalini. We live in Bangalore. By profession, I was working in the IT industry. I've done my engineering from IIT Roorkee, and this is my beautiful wife.
Hi, Chennai. Ellarukkum iniya malai vanakkam. Eppadi irukkinga? A great privilege and definitely a pleasure for us to be here, and we thank God for having given us this opportunity to be up here on the stage. And believe me, we promise you we'll give you our best today.
Well, our purpose of our seminar here today is to give you a message. We've been very blessed with this business opportunity. Through our story, we want to give you a message. You might be here coming first time. You might have just seen a business plan or got a very fair idea of the business, or you might have been in the business for a few months now and you're still evaluating whether this business is really worth it. It's a very simple business. The question is, you have to make a decision to, get the business to move forward, right? There's no complexity in it. So we want to help you to make that decision, a strong decision. And, through our story, our purpose is to give you that message and that hope that, this business can be done. In fact, one of the best rewards that we have got personally through this business is, I was working in the IT industry. I worked there for 14 years. Because of this business that we started, along with our job, I could retire at the age of 35. And today, we are full-time parents to our 2 kids. It was exactly 2 years back that we had a grand retirement celebration, and everybody was surprised. Usually, you retire at 60, right? 60, 58 or 60, but we did that at a young age, and we're enjoying those rewards, right? Well, to give you a quick background, we are originally from Karnataka. My parents, my dad is from Hassan, place called Hassan, which is in Karnataka. He's an electrical engineer. My mother is a teacher, and, we have had a very, very happy upbringing. They taught us hard work. That's the key to success. They worked very hard. My granddad was a farmer, so from there he put his children into engineering, so they graduated one level up. And, because of my dad's job, we grew up in a place called Ghaziabad, which is in close to Delhi. It's part of the NCR region in Delhi. We grew up there, and my dad was working for a textile company as an engineer. My mother is a teacher. What happens is when you're working, you don't make the ends meet. I remember my mother telling me that, by 20th of the month, the box in which she used to keep the money was to get over. In the last 10 days, you're just looking how you're going to stretch yourself to achieve that. And it was during that time that my dad got an offer, and, he got an offer abroad, and we moved to a place called Lagos in Nigeria. And there was a sudden shift. What happened was, you've got one financial vehicle. The financial vehicle which was, helping you give your daily bread and butter now, that is better. Like it was, if you're riding a Maruti car now, it's a much better sedan car, right? Why? Because it's giving you more luxuries. We went out, we got everything. There was a bungalow, there was car, there was driver, there was, there was a servant. But both my parents were working very hard. Who was enjoying all the luxuries? It's me, the kids, right? Me, I've got a younger sister, my sister and brother-in-law, they're also with us in the business. We were enjoying. Now, you're making money. Why? Because when you make in dollars, what happens? Mentally, you multiply by 50. I like this business because you multiply PV by 66, right? I always like that multiplication. Now, as long as you're there, you make money. If you come back, you don't make money. And it's not your own. Right? There's no ownership. You have the car, but it's all temporary, because if you're back, you have nothing with you. And but I was exposed to a good standard of living, See, the environment that you grow up in, or the environment that you surround yourself with, any point of your life, has a big influence in what decisions that you take and where you are in life in future. So I grew up there. At the same time, what happened was, my cousins, my mom's sister's children, they all went into IIT. So there was a lot of pressure, because my mother being the youngest daughter, the expectation was that I was the youngest of the lot, and I was also supposed to get into IIT. The expectation was very high. Now, see, what happens is very similar to our business. You take any engineering entrance exam, or any exam, maybe a medical or whatever. The easiest thing to do in that is to appear for the exam. Am I right? Easiest thing to do is get your roll number. The difficult thing comes afterward. You have to study for it. Right? Now, It's very easy to bump into people because there are 3 to 4 lakh people who give the exam. The good seats are anywhere between 1,000 to 2,000. Now, the number of people who failed is more, or number of people who succeed is more. Which is more? Number of people who are not able to qualify, they are more. Very easy to bump into people who are not qualified. If you bump into them, what would they say? Hey, I did it so many times. I couldn't make it. I don't know. It's not worth it. You'll hear all that. But if you talk to somebody who's cleared it, I got a whole lot of people in my family who cleared it. So I never had that doubt. Same thing in this business. Very easy to get in. Correct? It's what you do after you get in. Why? Because, success. Success is always a minority. Why? Because it takes discipline to be successful. So it's very important you choose as to whom you listen to. I got that message very early in my life. Now, I went into IIT, finished my engineering. What do you do after engineering? You get into a job. I was very excited to start working somewhere. I thought I will work and then pursue my master's in either MBA or MS. So I started working for this IT company. Now, very strange thing happened. The first week of my job. How many of you remember your first job? You were very excited with your first job. You know why? Because you get your salary, you get a visiting card with your title. Wherever you go, you start flashing it. You're so enthused and you get something called a salary. Till then, of course, you're dependent on your parents, but now you're independent, so you're very excited. I was like that, but all that excitement, all that air got punctured. Why? Because there was a coffee meeting going on. I mean, we were taking a coffee break. All of us were having coffee, and he looked at me and said, I was just 5 days old in the business. He said, when are you leaving? What? I said, when are you leaving? I said, leaving where? He said, see, I might leave anytime. Next week I might not be here. This gentleman, he's been there for 3 months. He might not be there. This is not a place to be around here. This is just a temporary training ground for software. The real thing is on-site, So what do you think my commitment level to that organization would have been? Yeah? Right? See, a lot of times you get into the business and when you approach other people, their commitment is based on how you are committed. Now, if you say, I'm trying to do something, what commitment level will they have to you? It's like this doctor, who's just passed out of MBBS, and he says to the patient, welcome, you're my first patient. But I promise you I'll do my best. What do you think the patient is going to do? Thank you, sir, but no thanks. He's going to walk, right? Because nobody wants to get treated through an elbowed doctor. Elbowed. Still learning. You don't want him to practice in you. See, you might not have all the information, but you have to look confident. The share value of a company goes up because the promoter, the president, or the CEO says great things about the company. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. So expectation goes up. So you have to build your expectation around you. Right? Not everything will be perfect, but you have to start off that way. Somewhere you have to start. So I learned that you know what? You might be new, but if you have to get people to commit it to you, you have to be strong and you have to be excited about what you're doing. Now, everybody was changing jobs, so what happened? I changed my job. Changing job was from Alto to Swift, another job. But I moved to Bangalore. I was in Delhi, I moved to Bangalore because we are native of Bangalore. Now, this is a new job, but the similar kind of experience. Why? Because I used to see my boss. I was never impressed by their lifestyle. Because she was a lady and she used to come much earlier than me. She used to live late night. Her husband used to wait outside. And I said, if I kept doing what I was doing, max, I will be there. So what was the option? The option was to do MBA. Option was to go on-site. Various options, In IT profession, you go on-site. I had seen how the on-site people were because we used to have these conference calls every evening with the on-site team, right? And I used to see how their life was because we were in a production support kind of an environment. And the only thing that they did was everybody had a pager, had a beeper. Anytime they could be on call, what is it that they had to do? Create the database, drop the database. Create the database, drop the data. Anybody from IT? Create a table, drop table. Create index, drop index. Okay. Anytime you might be called to do that. And that was not exciting for me at all. Somebody else controlling your entire time. Because for me, going abroad was not a great thing because I'd already been there, already lived. But my experience was very different. It was vacation, it was travel, it was having fun, it was all the abundance, all the goodies. So that never attracted me. The other thing was to do MBA. Now, I had seen a couple of people go out and do MBA from as prestigious institutes as IIM. And what they did was, they came back and joined the same company. The only thing that happened was, they had a title now. Title, maybe they'll get better matches when they get married, that's all it is. Otherwise, it's the same job. I did not really understand that you go all the way, 2 years, you come back and you still do the same job. So I was kind of looking. And I wasn't sure what I needed to do. because things didn't surround very positive for me in terms of the environment that I was in. And it was exactly at the same time that I met this wonderful couple. What happened was, since my parents were abroad, I started staying with a distant aunt of mine because she needed help. Her husband had just passed away, so they were looking for somebody. Since their children were staying in America, she was looking for somebody whom they know, who could stay with them. So I started staying with that aunt of mine. And her son was living in New Jersey, son and daughter-in-law. And I was staying with them, and the daughter-in-law came on a visit to India. And in one day morning when I was there, she said that, there's a business which is going to come to India. See, I was hungry. Understand hungry? If you're hungry, do you need to convince to have food? Right? If you're not hungry, I give you the food from Sarvana Bhavan. You're not hungry. I try to force feed you. What will happen? Comes out. Who gets dirty? I get dirty. It's my fault, right? She didn't have to convince me. She said, business. My antenna was up. I said, what business? Instead of she approaching me, I started running after, the information as to what is this, when is it, please let me know. She showed the business plan, and I was thrilled. I was ready. I didn't know, but I had to do something. I said, let's do it. Now, was I committed from day one? No. Nobody gets committed right from day one. But I was excited that there's something new. Now, what happened was, she started, her name is Pooja. Pooja and her husband Satish, they eventually became our sponsors. And, Satish and Pooja, they led me to this wonderful system called Brit Worldwide. And I started attending these meetings, Every meeting, there's something different. How many of you have seen that? There's something different about our meetings. The environment is charged up, right? At work, I was doing a project on risk management. All that, why things will not work. Here, they used to say, don't look at why it will not work. Look at why it will work. So it's a complete contrast. They said, don't be an audience. Be the player. Right? And it was, everybody was fired up at work. If you go Monday morning, you ask, how are you doing? Chal raha hai, going on. Right here, if you get negative, they'll beat you up. You dare get negative. That's the environment. You just cannot afford to get negative. So what a great environment. Now, she gave me a lot of CDs. My sponsor gave a lot of CDs. I didn't listen to all the CDs. Why? Procrastination, just laziness. But slowly, I started seeing the difference between this business environment and the environment that I had at work. Now, what happened? As a young software engineer, you don't know everything. You start doing something, you start learning some programming language. Certain times you make some mistakes. Code goes to on-site, it comes back rejected. Certain times it gets rejected, sometimes it doesn't. But what happened was, if I did 10 things right and one thing wrong, you know what the lens was on? That one thing wrong. And especially if it was the appraisal time. They forgot all the good things that you had done. Right? And that one thing, you've been but how could you do that? And how could you do this? And you're like, man, amazed. Now, similarly in this business, if I miss 5 meetings, but I went to 3, correct? If I got 4 no's, maybe I just sponsored 2 people where I had to sponsor 6 or 7. That one thing that I did right was promoted so much. My upline made me put on a pedestal. There was an email coming from an upline. Man, look at this, the next champion. I was amazed. Right? See, how many of you like somebody praising you? Everybody. If you're a human, you will like that. Secretly, you will like it. Even if you don't raise your hand, secretly you will like it. Everybody likes appreciation. Because that is what human being is made of. Right? Critical, you have to be critical to help you grow, but it has to be positive. But appreciation is very important. So I started liking that. You know what? So slowly, my decision to build this business kept on becoming stronger. It was not one day decision, but increment. Now, the other thing that happened was, whenever we were going for coffee break, and my boss used to pull me up, come. The conversation that he used to have about his boss was not very positive. How many of you know that? Boss to his boss to his boss. There's an upline, right? LOS. It was not very positive because he didn't have good things to say. He's got a lot of, negative things about how this guy is doing, how that guy is doing. And you don't feel secure in that environment, right? Because you don't know he's talking negative, tomorrow he'll talk negative about you. You don't know what to say to whom. You're so scared. But on this side, my sponsor Satish and Pooja, we come from a very illustrious line of sponsorship. Our sponsors are Satish and Pooja. Their upline, our upline. Diamonds are Founders Diamonds, Nanda and Sangeeta Shringari. Upline to them is Founders Diamonds, Vishal and Sonika Jain. Upline to them, Founders Diamonds, Kankan and Samina Bhattacharya, then Ram and Shailaja Bomasani, and we belong to the illustrious line of Double Diamond Shivram and Anjali Kumar, you know. So, when I saw how my sponsors treated their upline, when I saw that unity, when I saw how they used to put them, create such a magic around, they used to say, you know what, Nanda is going to call you, Nanda is going to give you the time, Kumar is going to come, you know, and that unity, you know what, I had to decide, this team versus this team. Correct? Very simple. What happened? I got sold out onto the team. See, it's any business. Business happens, a product moves, or a new business venture. Let's say Tata's want to start something new. You know what? Any new product, any new venture happens, what do you see? Who's backing it, right? Who's backing it? Because the product doesn't move by itself. It's the leadership that moves the business. So if you have a strong backing of leadership, if you have strong leadership, you will have a strong business. So we got sold out under the strong leadership that this business had. And we knew there was a future, right? So with that, the decision became stronger. And what do you do once you decide to build a business? You start approaching a lot of people. Now, I did not grow up in Bangalore. I grew up in North India. So when I came to Bangalore, I had only a couple of relatives, but not any friends or people that I grew up in school and college. None of them were there in Bangalore. So I started approaching a few of my relatives, and I could never, it was very easy for me to show the plan. Showing the plan is very easy. How many of you believe that? Right? My upline showed me only one plan. Then I was on my own, because what is big deal in this plan? If you've done 10th grade, you can show the plan. So I was excited about showing the plan. I showed the plan. People appreciated. Wow, what an opportunity. Until a turning point came. You know what? Immediately after the plan, they said, what are the products? That time, those days, we had these 1-liter bottles. I used to show them dish drops. They used to see turning point, turn the product. See the price, 400 some rupees. Ah, see, I knew it will not work. This is too expensive. It will not work in India. Indians are very different. Yeah, Indians are very different. That's why we have the biggest population, no? It's so different. Right? Now, I got a lot of no. Now, did I get affected? Absolutely. A human, you will get affected. But thing was, I had been insulated. I had been vaccinated by this wonderful system called Brit Worldwide. You know why? Because, you know, there is a saying we say, check if your life is an example or is it a warning. You know, is your life an example to others or is it a warning to others? Now, when I was looking at them, you know, all these thoughts were there in my mind. I was looking at, they're saying something, but I'm listening to something else. You know why? Because I had heard CD, I had met people. I know these people are making excuses. I know their life is no good for me. If I listen to them, where are they in life? You know, very limited. They have limited choices. They're not happy where they are. Correct? But you can't change somebody, right? So sometimes what happens is if you're not insulated, you talk to somebody, he's negative, you become negative. Correct? Because that's a disease. Negative is like a disease. If you're not insulated, you'll become negative, just like this. But that, thank God, it didn't happen to us. And people gave everything. You know, somebody said that, let some people join under me, then I'll be ready. See, this is not a graveyard that you'll have people under you. There's no people under you. There are only people with you. Right? Some people said, if 5 people are ready, then I will come. You know, it's like this. You know, how many of you have heard of the Dandi March? Right? If Gandhiji said, put a log and said, at least I need 50 people. If 50 people are there and you provide me the right shoes and the right walking track, then I'll see if I can go for the Dandi March. You think somebody would have gone? He didn't care who comes behind. He just started walking. Right? That is the commitment. That's how leadership is. So that is what we got to learn by observing these people. And you know what? We started, you know, I realized that it was all about showing more plans. If you show more plans, every leader whom we heard to, they said, if you show to 20 people, maybe 2 will join. So that was good news for me because the same thing was happening. The other thing is, see, we are not skilled. I was not skilled into doing this business. What was I skilled at? Writing computer program. Now, if you get angry at the computer, you can hit the keyboard hard, the keyboard will come up. That's all. But this was about relating to people. So because of the books that we read, you know what we learned? How to connect with people. Now, people who said no to me, I used to meet them again at some social function or some, you know, gathering. And what will eventually people ask you? In Kannada, they say, Hengide Amway. You're the Amway person. You're branded Amway, right? How is your Amway business going? Everybody used to ask me. And you know what my reaction was? Super. You won't believe it. Super. Can you all say that? Super. How much of money was I making? Zero. I made no money. But business was super. I understand that is the attitude. So suddenly people used to get shocked. They said, I don't know what you're doing, but I like your attitude. See? They started liking. It's the attitude which will take you to your altitude. I realized that. It's the attitude. You know what? Suddenly, every family function, if it was happening, we used to have our open on Wednesday. If it's a Wednesday meeting, sorry. Wednesday meeting, I cannot come. So people started respecting. See, people respect people who are committed. You agree? If in a class, if there is one child who's securing very well, who's studying very hard, all the other students know that this guy is going to get first grade. Even he doesn't have confidence, but others have confidence. Why? Because he's doing the work. So people started, the same people who were negative, they started respecting. And then, the business took off. So it takes some time. Some people may not join now. Some people will come back later. Some people later. All that started happening. Now, did we get no's? A lot of people said no. We had a lot of good experiences. See, you cannot build this business with a rigid attitude. Oh, who will say yes? Or with, wide eyes as to hungry for people. You cannot have that. You know why? Because we were in the system. We were having so much of fun. I introduced my friend Bhushan. Bhushan and me were classmates. What did I tell him? I said, come to this place, get 4,400 rupees. That's all. He's not supposed. He's my close buddy, right? So for, if I am into something, he has to be something. So then I showed him the plan. And for both of us, our upline said that do a home meeting. How many of you have done a home meeting? So we did this home meeting, If you're in a bachelor accommodation, one thing that you don't have is a good home, right? Clean home. Because if you enter a bachelor accommodation, one thing that you have is a lot of chappals first. And all kind of aromas inside the house, right? Smell, it's not clean because, everybody is living in a single life. So we had to clean up the whole place. It was on a Saturday evening. So from 2 o'clock, we started cleaning the whole place. And, me and Bhushan, my upline said that if you invite 20 people, 10 will come. Right? So we invited 25, hoping at least 15 should come. Okay, so we did that. We kept a lot of brochures. Those days we did not have sachets, so we put products on camera rolls, empty camera rolls, and then we put those stickers. This is sea spray, this is dish drops. All that was ready. House was spick and span. And they said that don't make food a big deal. Don't have too much of food. Have some light refreshments. And there was a famous samosa joint right where we were staying. We were staying in a place called Jayanagar in Bangalore. So there was a famous samosa joint. So we thought if 15 people come, if everybody has one samosa, maybe one of them will have 2. So we got 20 samosas with green chutney and red chutney. With paper plates, right? All ready by 6. 6 o'clock, we're ready. Who's going to come? 6:10, 6:15, 6:30, 7, 7:30, 8, 8:15, 8:30. Me and Bhushan had all the samosas. That's how we started. That was our beginning. Did we have fun? You won't believe. We had a lot of fun. Right? Why? Because, wow, we're going diamond. We're doing the right thing. Okay, of course, we had to make some changes. We had to make some adjustments. We learned along the way. Now, I was very serious by then, building this business. So my parents thought, I don't know when this guy will retire and all that, then he won't get any girl. Okay? Who will give girl to a retired person, right? So I was speaking all that. So my mom came and she said, better to get him married first, So as I was going through a lot of numbers, in terms of a lot of people, she started going through a lot of people in terms of girls, taking the horoscope and going to, I spoke to my upline Nanda. He also started his business when he was single. So he told me, Vinay, write down what you want in your wife, right? In the girl. Because if you don't know what you want, you like this one also, you like that one also. It's so confused, right? Every girl you say, oh, he's also good. What are you going to do? You can't compare, right? Each has its own unique. So I wrote down exactly what I wanted. So I was very clear. Why? Because I knew, since we have made a big decision to build this business, the person who's going to marry me has a great responsibility. It's not going to be any person, right? See, anybody husband and wife, how many of you think marriages are made in heaven? Right? So is the upline downline relationship made in heaven. Correct? So when you know that you have the right person, you're very confident. Right? You know who's going to come. So that's what happened, and they saw a lot of girls, but I was, they pre-screened some people, and one day I went to Shalini's house. She came out, I looked at her, I knew she was for me. There was no doubt. Why? I don't know. There was already set in my mind, exact. I knew she was for me. Now, they said that, my parents said, we'll meet again, we will get back. I said, hello, I have not even spoken to the girl. So they said, I need 5 minutes. So we both went and we started speaking to each other. 5 minutes became half an hour. And they had to knock. Hello? Please come. So we connected. Now, see, I was reading people skill books. I was all ready because I had to get the follow-up and the sign-up done. I was so used to it. It was month end. I know how to create the sign up when month end, right? That was the 30th of the month. I knew. So I was all ready. I knew I'd impressed. Little impression you have to put, right? You have to talk confident. You can't be a bore person. Who's going to join if you're a bore person? Now, because of all this upbringing that I had in the system, I was very confident. Ye to ho gaya, sign up, done. I told my parents, done. But you know what? I was surprised because she was much smarter than me. Next day, she called me for a follow-up meeting. She said, the girl wants to meet you again. I said, yeah, what happened? There's some serious stuff. So we met again, and then and we knew we were for each other. Our minds, the frequency matched, and rest is history. Got married. And so since she came, what happened was, initially, my business was full of Vanar Sena. You know Vanar Sena? All bachelors. When she came, she brought in light, she brought in color, she brought in the homely feeling, She brought in so much of good stuff, and that's where our whole turning point happened to go platinum, emerald, founders emerald, and today we're ready to go diamond. She's a 100% supporter, and she's going to have the greatest life because she's done that. Here's my crown ambassador wife, Shalini.
Thank you. Wow. நாங்கள் இங்கே வந்து பேசுறதுக்கு ரொம்ப சந்தோஷமா இருக்கு. Okay, that's it. See, by background, I have done my master's in environmental science, and I used to work as a research associate with a research organization. And we are blessed with two wonderful kids, both of them boys. One is 10 years old, he's Ujjwal, and the second one is 2.5 years old, he's Nischal. And we are very, very proud of our boys. In fact, while growing up, I grew up in a joint family. And I grew up with lots of values, and many things that I learned from there helped me get adapted to this business as easily. And my father, he's a businessman, he's an electrical engineer, and he runs his own electrical firm back in Bangalore, and he's been doing it so for the last 38 years. In fact, although he's seen lots of ups and downs, one thing about him is he's always stuck to the same business because he loves what he does. And one thing I have always admired about him is his work ethic. We've always seen him work hard. He's never been ashamed of working hard, and he always taught us to strive for excellence. By emulating those people who have done better than us in our lives. And believe me, I could find that in this business. When I got started in this business, I saw that there was somebody whom we could follow, and there was somebody to always guide us. And I'm very thankful to him, for doing that. My mom, she's a homemaker, and she's the cheerleader of the house. In fact, she's been a great support to my dad through his thick and thin. And one thing I always learned from her is she would always tell us this, that, while it's very important for us to hold on and not give up during adversities, it is most important for us to be cheerful and have a happy heart. And believe me, when we saw the thick and thin, we saw the way my dad stood up to it, but we were happy. She made sure we were happy. And she taught us how to take both winning and losing in stride. And I'm really grateful for my parents for that. And I have a younger brother. He works in Bangalore, and we had a great childhood. In fact, we grew up under the influence of our grandparents. And believe me, some of you who have grown up with under the influence of grandparents, you'll really understand the significance of it. My grandfather, he was a very simple but a very, very disciplined man. And one thing that he always did was he encouraged us to do what we love to do. And that was probably one of the main reasons that I took up environmental science when all my friends, peers were doing either engineering or medicine. And, he always told us this thing that, if you have to be successful, all you need is about just 1% of talent. 99% comes through skill. And that gave me a lot of confidence that, I could do anything that I wanted to in my life. All I needed was to do hard work, and I was ready to do that. And see, what really happened was, growing up with grandparents, there are two things that you get in abundance. One is lots of love, second is loads of gyan. advices all the time. And my grandmother, she's an extraordinary woman. She lives with us. And believe me, you know what? She taught us unconditional love. What is unconditional love? And growing up with her, we would get to hear a lot of stories from her, in the form of advices. If you have to be this, there is a story coming in. And this had made so much of impact in our life that we would sometimes live those roles. The time that I would either do an exam well or crack a paper or probably win a debate, I would come back home and say I'm the Chanakya. And my brother was the naughtier one. He would, whenever he had a fight in the school, he would come back home, and when we asked him, why did you have a fight? And he would say, no, I was Shivaji trying to save my friends. And why I'm telling you all this is, in all of us sitting here, we need that kind of gyan or advice from time to time. And we really need to thank God that we found that in this business. We have that in the form of our uplines. We have that while we listen to CDs. We have that while we read books. And believe me, when you have similar concerns or any situation, you will be able to handle it that much better. And thanks to that, because there is a great transfer of thought process, and that's what makes you find your answers better. All the ladies sitting here, I have this message for you. You might be sitting here, you might be new here, or probably you're working, you're single, you're married, or you have kids, or you're thinking, can I build this business? Do I have time? I don't have time. I can't talk to people. Can I sell the products? All these questions will be answered only if you stay connected. So stay connected. This business is the answer for you. And while growing up at school, I was an all-rounder. I was good at everything I took up, be it studies, be it sports, be it art, be it anything. I had my fill in it. This was because probably, I got the right environment. Yeah, I could realize the potential because, my parents always encouraged me, and, they gave me an environment to grow. While coming into the business, I got the same thing. That's what I saw. The potential of Amway business can be only realized in the environment provided to you by your upline and the kind of system that we are provided with, the Brit Worldwide system. You need to really be thankful for that. And growing up years, I can tell you that there was never any hardship of money in the house, but we could never spend lavishly. We could only spend that much. But in spite of this, my dad provided us with a decent lifestyle. But what I constantly kept seeing was his lifestyle. I saw that he never had time for us. Money, if there was money today, he had to work hard twice for it, for tomorrow. And security, the word security was unheard of in my family. So that was probably the only reason I despised business. I didn't want to do a business. I didn't want to be a businesswoman. I didn't want to marry a businessman. And believe me, all I associated with business was risk, tension, and no security. And, that was one of the main reasons that I studied further. I did my master's in environmental sciences, and I started applying for universities to study further abroad, to do my integrated PhD. And that was the time my parents had different plans for me. They wanted me to get married before I study further. That's the time I met Vinay. And when I met Vinay, I could connect with him easily. Our frequencies matched. And we got engaged right away. I didn't even realize it, and I got engaged. And what happens after engagement? It's the first outing after the engagement. All the girls are so in awe of their first outing. And guess, even I was in awe of my first outing. And guess where we went on our first outing? It is very obvious. We went to the open meeting. When I went to the open meeting, I was dumbstruck. I was so stunned looking at the crowd that I didn't even listen to what the speaker was saying. In fact, he was saying so many things, I couldn't pay attention to him. All I could, the only time when he asked a question, how many of you want to retire from your jobs? And Vinay lifted his hand. He raised his hand. And that's when the confusion struck. I'm looking at him and I said, I'm not even married to this guy and he wants to retire. You know, I went back home, and when I told my folks, they said that don't worry, you know, Vinay is a young chap, you know, boys of that age want to do this and that. They want to conquer the whole world. And, you know, Vinay is very well educated. And, you know, he comes from a good family. I'm sure he knows what he's doing. And once you get married, it's all in your hands, you know, whether you want to do the business or not. And when they said that, you know, this is what struck my mind. You know, I felt that I knew Vinay, I liked Vinay, and I probably didn't understand everything that he was doing. But I'd seen that he had really put in a lot of efforts to build the team that he had built. And the second thing I saw was the kind of love and respect that he got from people. And I knew that he was very determined to make a success out of it. And when I was speaking to people in the team, I realized that there was no risk, no tension, and I saw absolutely no negative environment, and I liked that. And what I liked most was the kind of husband and wife coming in together and being here, being in the functions, you know, coming up on stage, talking about their success, and I liked what I saw. And I said, probably I won't build the business, but what the heck, I'm going to support him 100%. But you know what? I soon realized that just supporting is not enough. You know, in order to move on, you know, you really need to be in the groove. And for me, that was not an overnight thing. You know, it didn't happen to me one day. It happened to me. It was a process. And believe me, certain things really helped me in getting into the groove. And definitely one was products. The second one was association. You know, for all the ladies sitting here, you know, the first belief builder for all of us are the products. You know, Vinay gave me you know, the first time he gave me a set of products. You know, that time it was home care products. He gave me a set of home care products. He, you know, showed me that, you know, SA8. You know, he gave me a bottle of SA8 in my hand, and he said that just use about 10 ml. And he tried to explain what to do next, you know, how SA8 works and all that. I just stopped him. I said, don't worry. I look at the manual. I have the product brochure. I look at it and went back home. Just what a new person does. Didn't even look at the manual. Didn't look at the product brochure. I just remembered 10 ml. And I started using 10 ml. What happened next? It's a low foaming liquid, and I didn't know that. And I used more than 10 ml. So what happens to one bottle of 1 liter of SA8 now? I finish it in 15 days. And now, you know, I was snubbed royally by my parents. And when I looked at the price, I snubbed myself royally. I said, what is this? You know, the price is so high, and it's just worth 15 days. And, you know, with great hesitation, because I was engaged to him at that time, you know, I went back to him and I asked him, do these products really work? And, you know, he's a wise man. He doesn't answer much. He said that, don't worry about it. You know, he took me to ADC. He made me sit in front of the training. And the training was going on. And that's when I realized that there is something called as value of concentration. And when I realized that, you know, there's more to these products than what I thought it was, I started attending all the trainings. I got equipped with a lot of knowledge, and most importantly, when I started using the products, I saw the difference. I saw how effective and economical the home care products were, how unique the personal care products were, and I could experience the artistry, and I saw the difference in my skin now. And when we started using Neutralite in our family, we started feeling the advantage. And believe me, ever since then, the doubts got wiped out. And I was able to answer the concerns of others. And you know what? That's when I realized that not only could I use the products, but I could also share these products with others. But the significance of the business, I realized only in association. You know, when I met our team, I saw the kind of people, you know, all young and determined and, you know, wanting to make it big in life, and they had a purpose, a goal in life. And I had never seen something like that before in my life, you know, and I definitely wanted to be a part of it. And, you know, there was the time that we got engaged, there was one couple who kept calling me, who kept telling me that, you know, I could build this business, and who believed that, you know, we could do it. And that's none other than our upline sponsors, Satish and Pooja Shankar from New Jersey. You know, yeah, please give them a big hand. You know, see, they never judged us. That was probably one of the main reasons that we could move on in this business. And the time that we were engaged, we had a great chance to meet our own upline mentors who came down from Philadelphia, that is Nanda and Sangeeta Shringari. And believe me, at the time we were engaged, all I saw was the husband and wife, the kind of relationship that they had, the kind of love and respect that they had for each other, and the way that they inspired our team. And I was seeing my future there at that time. And when Vinay spoke to Nanda, I would see that, he would not just counsel about the business with Nanda. It was about all aspects of life, and that kind of gave me a lot of security. I felt secured. That was one thing I was always looking for in my life, and I felt that I have found here in this business. But the whole perspective of this business changed when I met these great leaders, Kumar and Anjali Shivaramakrishnan, in a great function. It was a conference held here. And when I met them, they made us feel so special. Not just that, they made us feel that we were a special part in their life. And when Vinay told me about Kumar's lifestyle, I was awestruck. And I said that I'm going to build this business alongside with Vinay, come whatever. I'm going to be with him just to be a part of that elite club. Ever since then, I made conscious effort in learning and building this business. I started doing the core steps alongside with Vinay. I started going out and actively participating in all the activities, like sharing my excitement about the products or my excitement about the business with the new people. I started making sure that I taught them what to do next with the new lady. That helped us build teams, not just in Bangalore, but we could expand our business outside Bangalore too. But was it worth it? Definitely. But was everything simple and perfect? Absolutely not. Were there distractions? Believe me, there were lots of distractions. We got married, we got a small kid, and we had to build this business. We had to go platinum, founders platinum, and all the while we also had social obligations. But while we were learning the key to success, we definitely had mastered key to failure. That was trying to please everybody, which was not possible. So we learned how to say no to people. We learned how to postpone certain things that we could postpone. And believe me, that made all the difference in our lives. And we went from silver to platinum to founders platinum to emerald to founders emerald, and next year we're going diamond. And believe me, we've made this business as #1 priority in our life. And that is one of the main reasons that we are reaping a lot of benefits from it too. The best reward that we've got from this business is today we are able to make choices that we couldn't have done a couple of years ago. And definitely, one of the best things that we've got is the kind of quality time that we can spend with our kids, both Ujjwal and Nischal. And before coming into this business, I never knew what dreaming big was. Because I was surrounded with lots of people who would tell me, don't go behind money. Lots of money, loads of tension. Don't become a money-making machine. But when I saw these people, I never saw them with significant amount of money. But what I grew up with was, I would always hear my dad saying this. He would always say, people who have worked hard to earn the money that they have earned will always make the best use of it. And I saw that in this business, and I saw that in our own mentors, I saw that in our uplines lifestyle, I saw that in the diamonds and ups lifestyle. And I saw that, they were leading a life which was complete. They were leading a fun-filled life, a complete life, and we saw the way they were providing a lifestyle for their kids, the kind of environment that they had provided for their kids. And that was a great hope for both of us. It was a hope that we are going to have a great lifestyle, and definitely we are going to give the best of the best to our kids. And we've also made a lot of changes in our lives today. The best thing, we can say is, today we believe in leading a loan-free life. And for most of us, that's an important thing. Back in Bangalore, that's one of the best things you can have. And definitely, the second thing is the support. We definitely got the best of the best support from my grandmom, my parents, my in-laws, and today we are able to give it back to them in our own way. And thanks to this business, we are able to do that. And quality decisions. Today we are able to have some quality in our lives. Quality comes in many forms. Many a times what you consider a privilege, when it becomes a necessity, quality gets added into our life. And a couple of years ago, having 2 cars was a privilege. But today, having 2 cars is a necessity for us. A couple of years ago, having a driver was a liability. But today, having a driver is a necessity. Lot of things get done. Many an activity that is for my children or for us get done. Having a nanny, couple of years ago, buy nanny, you should look after your kids. But today having a nanny gives me flexibility to be more productive with my time. And I'm very thankful that we could make those choices thanks to this business. And today our passion, or our dream I could say, has been completed. Luxury, traveling in luxury. We've never had to make a compromised package tour deal. We travel luxuriously, and believe me, Amway provides you with the best of the best. And through Brit Worldwide, we also travel extensively. And all the travel in a style. And that's what we've always craved for. And we thank God that it came true thanks to this business. And believe me, there are a lot of intangibles that we've got through this business. And first of all, it's the leadership. The kind of leaders that we have here, each and every leader that we met in the open meeting, each and every leader that we've met in the Brit community have made a difference in our lives, and we definitely thank all of them. And mentorship program. If not for this business, we wouldn't even have known the meaning of what a mentor was. Today we spend time with people who matter to us, people whom we can count on and people who count on us. That's very, very important to us. And definitely the hope. A couple of years ago, I told Vinay that I will never come up on stage and talk. And today you see me holding a mic, talking in front of such a large audience in Chennai. And that's a great hope. And husband and wife, Vinay and I, we've made a lot of changes. But we have 100% partnership, a strong working relationship as husband and wife. Today we are more confident that we can do it big in our lives. And you know what? All that was possible because, one man made the decision that he's going to build a business. He's a great leader. He's an inspiration to all of us. And believe me, he always saw the strength in us. And that's probably why, I could support him all the more to move on in this business. And I thank him, and over to Vinay.
Thank you, Shalini. Give it a big hand. Great. And as we started building the business, obviously we had to make changes because being in an IT profession, you know how it is. So you go up in the morning, your date of swiping in, time of swiping in is fixed, but time of swiping out is, you don't know. It's variable, right? So I had to make a lot of changes. See, was I being productive? No. I had already seen a future here. Was I being productive? No. A lot of people who work in big industries today, what happens is, see, there's a lot of leakage of time. Why? Because people spend time on internet, people go out, for long coffee breaks, long lunch time. Why? Because there's nothing else to do. And you end up, instead of coming back at 6 o'clock, you end up coming at 9, 10 o'clock. So I had to know where my time is getting leaked, right? I had to fix all that. And then, the other thing was, I moved on my project because they were planning to send me on-site. On-site was not my goal. My goal was ALS. My goal was not on-site. Okay? So I could have either one of those. So you had to make a decision. So I took a domestic project. Why? Nobody wanted to go to a domestic project. Why? Because there's no dollar money there. But I had already seen what I was going up to. So I took a domestic project, so which means I made a lateral move so I could get more time. See, it's about this. It's about how productive you are. If you go to Dhoni, Dhoni says that, we couldn't win this match. We're very sorry because you know why? I was so busy hitting a 1 and 2 that I had no time to hit a 4. What would you say? Very smart? I was so busy making 50,000, I had no time to make 1.5 lakhs. Hello? You know what I'm saying? That's exactly why that shift happened. Right? It was a short term. You're giving up. Obviously, money. Short term, you're giving up some money for a long term gain. Then eventually we started finding our people. I found my friend, my Bhushan. Bhushan introduced his friend who was working with the same company, and they are Ramki and Prachi. They are in Hyderabad. He moved to Hyderabad. Ramki moved to Hyderabad. He married Prachi, and this is the last month of their Emerald qualification. It'll be brand new Emeralds next month. So from one samosa to Hyderabad Emerald. Is that good? That's how it all started. Correct. They have a bunch of Founders Platinum, Sapphires in their team, Satish and Devi, Rajesh and Radhika, all of them, coming to ALS this year. It's a humongous organization. Now, the other thing was, I was new to Bangalore. I never grew up in Bangalore. I grew up in North India, so I did not know a lot of people. So see, there is a problem, there's always a solution. You have to be solution oriented. So what is the solution? Now, solution I got from the CDs, how other people handle that. Now, I had to, see, you have to do multitasking. I knew lunchtime was free. Because other time you had to be busy because I had to go out in the evening to show plans. So I had to be very focused at my work. So lunchtime was the only time. So I stopped carrying food from whatever the tiffin carrier used to come. I used to go to restaurant outside. Why? Eat lunch and meet some people. Both can go hand in hand. Why do only one activity at one point of time? Now, I never used to take a thali. That here you get that meals, Tamil Nadu meals you get. I never used to take a meal. I used to always take sambar rice and curd rice. Take sambar rice, go and sit somewhere, say hello to somebody. If he says hi, you say hi. If he does not say hi, you say bye. Right? Go back, take curd rice, sit somewhere else. Again, say hi. Right? Go back, take buttermilk, sit at a third person. Because if you take a meal, you're stuck there. If he does not say hi, then you're stuck. You can't take the in-between thali and go, sorry, he said bye. He said he did not say hi to me. You can't do that. Correct? I realized it. So, now, see, success will not come because you do it one day. A drop of water falls on a rock, it creates a hole. Why? Is it the last drop which created the hole? No, it's because consistently the drop kept on falling. Consistently the water kept on falling. So consistently I started doing that. Now one day what happened was, there was an open meeting next day. Our upline diamonds, Vishal and Sonika had come to Bangalore. I was inviting a lot of people. I had met this guy. I asked him, where do you, I used to ask people, do you live here? Do you work here? Then they said, no, I work. Where do you work? I'm doing a business. I'm doing a business. Similar kind of script. And this guy said, you know what? I'm looking for a business. I invited him for the open meeting next day. Next day open meeting, I was the host. I was looking, nobody turned up. All the people that I had. But there's one guy sitting and he's smiling at me. I said, who is this? Is he cross-line? Somewhere I've seen him. Suddenly it struck me, hey, he's the guy I met yesterday. The curd rice guy. So I said hello, I was fired up. He was early to the meeting, and then the meeting happened, and that day Vishal said, Vishal is a very strong personality, he said, see, for all you people who have come here first time, this is what he said in the plan, that don't waste the time of the person who's invited you here. You're either a green light, if you're ready to get started, you're a yellow light, if you need more information, or you're a red light, if you don't want to do this business. So please tell them which light you are. So that day, throughout the meeting, the lights were flickering. Yes light, yellow light, green light. This guy came to me and he said, I'm yellow light. He needed more information. So next day we fixed up a follow-up. I was waiting for the follow-up. He got a little late from work, but he came. And we fixed up the meeting. He got started. See, the person you introduce may not build the business. But he led us to somebody, who led us to somebody, who led us to somebody. 6, 7 deep from them, we found this wonderful guy called Kaushik. Kaushik was in Bangalore. He moved to Chennai. And then he started building business, very passionate. He got married to his wife, Indu, and was building a large business. And suddenly, it was God's plan. God has his own, plans. One day, we lost him in a train accident. He was associating at the Vani Mahal open meetings. We lost him in a train accident. But before he died, he had gone eagle, which means, he sponsored a whole lot of people. Right? And now he's no longer there. His wife is there in Bangalore. But you know what? He's got one leg which went emerald last year. Prabhakar and Almilo, they're sitting right here. Brand new emeralds last year. They got a humongous. What a blessing they are in our lives. Such a good friendship. And we can't trade that for anything else. And they've got Ganesh and Nilima in Bangalore. They've got Srini sitting right here who started his platinum qualification. Bunch of people coming here. They've got another leg called PVS and Vani who are building the business right here. They've got a third organization in Punjab which has started platinum qualification. Isn't that amazing? We only talk about it in theory, saying that whether you're there or not, the income will come. This actually happens. Why? Because we have a system in place. Right? Now, I kept on talking to a lot more people. I had sponsored my colleague. See, you should not hesitate here. I was not like, should I talk to him, should I not? What? Most people don't even remember. Some people are so scared to open their mouth. What will happen to my job? What will happen? See, you're doing right thing. God's blessings will be there. I did not have that problem. You know what? Because I spoke to somebody at work. What am I doing wrong? I'm telling him there's a good opportunity, something which will help you with your own life. So what is wrong in that? It's not there in his mind. It's what is there in your mind. So for me, it was never a problem. I just started talking because I was clear in my heart. I was not using office time. I was not doing other stuff, illegally. But whatever was legal and honest, I was doing it. So I sponsored my colleague. He was there for some time. He sponsored somebody who sponsored this couple called Somshekar and Padma. They were one of the first couples to get into our team. And they brought a lot of excitement, and they went Founders Platinum. They got a cooking organization all around. And, they were part of our Emerald team. Now, as we're building the business, they say that, right? You put in effort somewhere else results comes in. So we were building this business. All my relatives knew now how serious we are. They think we own Amway. That's what they think. Amway Noru. That's what they say in Kannada, So one of my cousin got married. My cousin had not got started in the business. He got married. His wife's brother, he got to learn about me. He came one day. I was busy going to show the plan. He came one day. He said, can I get started in the business? Isn't that amazing? He got started. His name is Subramanya Prasad, and he works as a research scientist. He got married to his wife Shobha, and they went Founders Platinum. They were there with us in Zurich last year, and he's got a humongous organization coming in. So it's all a blessing. You have to just keep following the pattern. You can't build this business logically. Logically, everything will not happen. It cannot be like a project plan. It cannot be like experiment. This is the input. This should be the output. It will not happen like that. Right? Long term, it will if you put in enough effort. But you can't logically analyze it. That's what we found. Now, some people might be looking at me and say that, you know what, Vinay, you speak so well, I cannot speak like that. I don't know if I can do it. See, people change. I'll give you a classic example. I used to have these people who come first year to engineering. We were staying in a hostel, and most boys are mama's pet. Do you agree? Most boys are mama's pet. I used to have these guys come in, and they were so religious. Why? Because mother had taught them. Tuesday they will chant Hanuman Chalisa, Friday they will chant this. They have a regular routine and sleep at 9 o'clock, get up early in the morning, do all the basic course. That was first year. First year, remind. So they used to chant all the mantras. Final year they used to chant, but something very different. Complete change. The mother used to say, you don't know my son. He's my son. He will not change. And you know what? Mother was no longer there for the next year. Why? The environment, right? You can change. Just plug into a system. It doesn't matter where you are. It will absolutely change. Now, the other thing was, we had to manage Bangalore, just like Chennai is known for one thing, which is heavy traffic. Not that traffic, heavy traffic. For me, we are living in a place, Meshwaram, and I had to go to Electronic City. 1.5 hours one way if traffic is normal. Hello? Is it exciting to drive? Yeah, you can listen to 1 CD, 2 CD, but how long? Come on, going, clutch brake. Legs start aching, only 2 legs. It was amazing. I had to make, I could not come back home. If I came back home, it's already 8 o'clock. Have my supper and feel relaxed, it's gone, 10 o'clock. So what I used to do was, I used to take fresh clothes, packed. 5:30, our office bus used to leave. 5 o'clock, I had to leave before the office bus leave. Otherwise, there's full traffic. So 5 o'clock, what I used to do is just go to the washroom. We had big washrooms in IT companies, big campuses. Go there, change, shave, put deo, right? Get neat, dressed, and then walk out. Imagine, many people never used to watch. They look at me and then, because why? They're only in their own world. But once in a while, somebody used to observe. Hey, where are you going? So fresh. My standard answer? Reception. Every day? Yes, every day. Right? And sit in the car, and you know what? The greatest moment of joy was to have that tag. IT company, you have that tag. Remove that tag. A lot of people, they sleep with the tag. Wherever they go, they'll have the tag. Boss, that tag is owning you. I wanted to get rid of that tag because I have my own tag. Hello, I'm in my own business. Right, that fun. And Shalini used to come. She paid a lot of price. She used to come in the way. We used to eat something somewhere, meet somebody, go back in the night. Day in and day out, day in and day out. Weekends, our business started to go outstation. You know what we used to, there was a time when we were in qualification and I had to go outstation. There's no other choice. But we had a meeting on Friday, Monday morning, again a meeting. So you can't take a train, you can't take a day off. So what do? You book a flight. So I used to book a flight, go there, in Bombay. Multiple trips I made to Mumbai. Why? Because our leg was quarantine there. So I went to Bombay, Attended the meeting. Open meeting used to happen in the evening, 7 o'clock. Finish the open meeting, talk to all these people, catch the midnight Air India flight. Why? Because it's little discounted, right? Because you have to look for your money, your pocket. So I used to take the midnight flight, have all my clothes ready, get ready in the Bombay airport, shave, wait for the flight, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, the flight comes down, come back out of the Bangalore airport, my car is parked right there, full of dust and all the leaves, clear that, drive straight to office. That we had to do. And then you go to office, your colleagues will say, how was your weekend, yaar? I did this, I went to that, I went to this mall, I went to that. And I used to look at them. You used to ask me, how was your weekend, my weekend? If I tell you, you won't believe it. Where all I went, how many people I met. But that was temporary, right? They were enjoying the pleasure, I was enjoying the pain, but my pain was temporary. Correct? They have a permanent pain which they don't even know. So, now the other thing that happened was, every now and then we had on-site visits. That is, off-site, we had meetings. 1 week, 4 days, off-site. So if you're in Bangalore, they send us to all the other locations and do meetings because you're having a project team is spread across different metro cities. So sometimes you have to go there. Now, what do? Obviously, you're out of Bangalore, but do you still forget about the business now? 5 o'clock our meeting used to get over, and in the company that I work, we have guest houses right inside the campus. And those guest houses are 5-star class. Each person used to get one room because there are plenty of rooms. And the room is so inviting, you won't believe it. If you go there, the bed will call you, please come, lie down. You worked so hard, come. There's a LCD TV, there's a Wi-Fi connection, and man, you can just put your legs and just, sleep all around. 5 o'clock, I never spent my evenings in those guest houses. Why? My appointment was already booked. I had booked a cab. I used to come to Mahindra City. We are guest house of Mahindra City. 5 o'clock, come out of that, cab was ready because I couldn't take the bus. Come back here in Chennai, build the business. Go to Pune, build the business. Go to Hyderabad, build the business. Go to Chandigarh, build the business. All these places where my company had offices, today we have platinums. The company has its network, you pay your network. Sometimes you ask people, what do you do? We do data warehousing, we do this. It's not you, the company which is doing it. What are you doing? You're just working there. Don't think it is yours. One day the recession happens, the first person that they will put you off is the person who's in the top management. What will happen to you? Then we are doing. You will become past. You will become history like this. I saw that happening. People working for years and getting laid off like this. That is truth sometimes, comes right in front of you. My coolest time, since we had a business already, my coolest time was the appraisal time. Why? Usually people fight in an appraisal. No, I want this rating. No, you don't know. For me, it was 2 minutes. Lot of communication from my boss, no communication. Everything happy. What will you give me? 5%, 10%. I am out there to go diamond. Your thing does not matter to me. That is how it was. And see the team spirit that this business. If you're working on a usual project, some band happens, what happens? People are not able to come, right? Mission postponed. Today I had a meeting or some goal, some target or some deliverable to be achieved. You'll have to postpone it. Why we cannot? This guy cannot come, that guy cannot come. Okay, today people work from home, they have connectivity, but back then we didn't have that. I was going silver and that day it was a band day. Somehow, people wanted us to go silver more than we wanted us to go silver. People came in vans, they came in cycle rickshaws, they came in bicycles, they came walking to the ADC. ADC shutter was half open. Somehow they sneaked in and 10,000 PV happened. Unheard of in other businesses, because that's the power of unity that this business brings. It's very special. Folks, my last message is this: it's worth building this business. So you need to get challenged in life. How do you know you're best? It's only if you're playing with somebody who's best, right? If you're playing with your neighbor cricket, you think that is the standard. But if you play with Dhoni, you know what the real standard is. If you're playing with Tendulkar, you know what the real standard is. Brit Worldwide will challenge you. So there is something that you look forward to every time. Correct? Because a lot of people look back and say that, a wave comes in, they look back, oh, I had come to that meeting and I wish I had started it back then. Don't lead a life of regret. Because this business is made for you. If you're sitting in this hall, there is a plan, this business is made for you. Because you can bring out the best, and it's the complete package. It's what you can create which you're not able to create through your regular profession. Remember Facebook, 6 years back, 7 years back when Facebook started. How many of you are on Facebook today? Everybody, 6-7 years back when Facebook started, if somebody had said, if Facebook, Mark Zuber had come and said, I'm looking for a capitalist for my company, can you come? What will Facebook do? Connect people. Gossip? Who will invest money in gossip? Does Facebook have any product? Do they manufacture anything? Nothing, but it's the biggest. It's got 500 million subscribers. If Facebook were a country, it would be the third largest country in the world today. Would you like to own Facebook today? Absolutely. What are we doing? We are going to be the biggest force in this country. You're absolutely in the right place, but you don't even know. Why? Because we are in process. Right? So if you're sitting here, take this business seriously. There's so much more that you can do. Being in IT profession, you think you'll come and listen to me if I do a code and if I do a database design here? None of you will listen to me. It will be a boring talk. The only reason why we are standing here today is to tell you, your story might be different, your situation might be different, but you can accomplish whatever we have accomplished and beyond thanks to this wonderful combination of Amway and Britwell. If we can do it, you can do it. Come and join us. Back to our host.
While the techniques and approaches suggested may have worked for others, no one can guarantee that they will work for you. We hope, however, that the ideas presented here will assist you in developing a strong and profitable business. This product has been produced independently of Amway Corporation. Purchase of this product is optional and subject to the refund policy described in your purchase agreement for business support materials. Purchase of future business tools can be discontinued at any time.